everybody, this is John. Welcome to the free video. And for today, let's take a look at a couple of markets. One of my favorite ones this entire year, of course, being TLT. We've got two charts here, daily chart and a daily chart. Here we just have the squeeze and the A, B, and C waves and the 8 and 21 EMAs. And over here we have the average true range at 1, 2, and 3 levels. And of any market out there on the planet right now, for the entire year of 2014, TLT has respected reversions to the mean and movements to the 1 and 2 and 3 standard deviation levels. These typically, the 3 standard deviation levels typically happen when there are squeezes, like either on TLT or the futures. In this case, there was a squeeze here on TLT as well. At 3 standard deviations, the move is over. I mean, you take your profits, but you always load up on the pullback. So here we've had this big move back, and we loaded up here. At this point, I am looking for TLT to continue going higher. Another interesting setting up is YY. On YY, we've got, we pulled back to the mean here, and you can see on this last squeeze, we did get a move up to the 3rd standard deviation move, brought us back to the mean, and now we've got another squeeze setting up with the A, B, and C waves, all trading above 0, which means another move, potential move to the 3rd average true range, which only happens, I mean, 9 times out of 10, if that's going to happen, there's a squeeze involved. If not, you're only talking about 1, maybe 2 of the average true range levels. So that means that a target, upside target, is at around 96 bucks. So I do like that quite a bit. And then one trade, well, 2 trades I want to show you. One is what's called a weekly bullish continuation trade. This is an UAL. And what we're looking for here is that on a weekly chart, we've got the A, B, and C waves above 0, and we have a squeeze in place that has not yet triggered. So this is one where we're looking for this to continue going higher, and I like this one quite a bit. So another one here that also is looking good, and I added the 78-minute here. So we've got the weekly chart, the daily chart, and the 78-minute. You can see here that on the weekly chart, the A, B, and C waves are above 0, indicating a powerful uptrend. On the daily chart, we have a squeeze, and on the 78-minute chart, we have a squeeze forming, okay? All of this together is based on a scan where I'm looking for specifically 78-minute charts that are in a squeeze that also have bullish action, A, B, and C waves above 0 on the daily chart and the weekly chart. Okay, and I used to spend like hours and hours finding these kind of trades, and I would subscribe to different kinds of scanners and sometimes paying like hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month, and none of the scanners actually would find stuff like this, which I thought was pretty insane. So some good news there. So what we ended up doing is just actually building a scanner that would look for stuff like that. So I'll go through this in more detail, but this is kind of the 78-minute bullish nested squeeze. And what this scan looks for is a daily squeeze that is fired long within the last 15 bars and no loss of momentum. And a 17-minute squeeze or a 78-minute squeeze is actually setting up, meaning there's red dots. And what we did is base this on the universe of all stocks that are trading on the U.S. exchanges with a price of $10 or higher and an average daily trading volume of around 500,000 shares. And that just eliminates a lot of the crap out there. And then what's cool about this is that here's HPQ, but you can sort by, and these are all optionable stocks, so it's that universe. You can sort by open interest, so the highest open interest stocks. What I typically like to do is sort by the name, and then what will happen is that anything with an asterisk will appear first. Well, anything with an asterisk trades weekly options, so that you know then that there are some different strategies that you could do on that. Okay, so different things that we can look at here. Let me bring this down. These are some of the ones. So if we look under intraday scans, we can do the 78-minute chart, 2 times nested squeeze. Okay, so what does that mean? So let's Let's click on that. And this is something that I think is one of the most powerful setups out there, but it's hard to find. The weekly squeeze has fired long within the last 15 bars with no loss of momentum. The daily squeeze has fired long within the last 15 bars with no loss of momentum. And the 78-minute squeeze is setting up, meaning you have powerful uptrend, and within that it's just catching its breath. Boom. We're seeing that on the 78-minute chart. We're here. There's only 3 stocks in this entire universe that have that. And I think one of these was a buyout candidate. So that's kind of cool. And so you can see here that we can do that on the 39-minute chart, bullish nested squeeze, 39 bearish nested squeeze. Okay, so all that means, so if you click on that, then what will happen is this is the daily squeeze has fired short within the last 15 bars and no loss of momentum, and a 39-minute squeeze is setting up. Okay, so that's great for kind of a short-term bearish trade. And then if you go 39-minute bullish 2 times nested squeeze, then that just drags in the weekly chart. So in this case, now we've got a weekly squeeze is fired long, daily squeeze is fired long, and within that context, a 39-minute squeeze is setting up. Again, those are very, very powerful short-term. And then we've got the same things going on the 78-minute charts. And then if we go under daily scans, we have daily bullish nested squeeze. And what that means, and I love these for swing trades. So what this means is that the weekly squeeze has fired and the daily squeeze is setting up, but not fired yet. So an example of one of the stocks on there is WDC. And you can see the squeeze here is fired on the weekly. It's taking a break. Now the daily squeeze is setting up. The waves are above zero. This is like an ideal time to buy that for continuation higher. So a super high probability trade there. And then bullish continuation. Those are nice because what happens here is that just essentially you can look for something like, hey, all the A, B, and C waves are above zero and the daily squeeze is setting up but hasn't fired yet. It's kind of like you get that, and if the weekly is involved, it's kind of like a turbo Porsche. If you go over to weekly scans, weekly bullish continuation, these are typically some of the best ones because you have the weekly ABC waves trading above zero, the weekly squeeze setting up, but it hasn't fired yet. Let's take a look at a couple of those. So on this one here, and this is one this is not even in my watch list, so this just came up. So my watch list of stocks on TradeStation, it's like 180 stocks. And so on those with the radar screen, I can look at one time frame at a time. I can't combine them. I can't find a squeeze within a squeeze within a squeeze as you can do on the scanner. And Cube's not even on my list. This looks great. A, B, C waves above zero, looking for the next pop higher. Looking to even see what happened on the last time there was a weekly squeeze, and that was a pretty solid move. We went from like $16 up to $19, and that's great. So that's great. That's not even a setup I would have found without that. Okay, so what is this and what is this service? Well, we set this up because, frankly, I was getting tired of spending hours each day looking for this stuff, and I really just wanted a scanner that would do this. These are the trades that I like to look for, and there was nothing out there that would do it, so we just built it. And we put this on the Simpler Stock site. Even though all of these stocks are optionable, there just wasn't room to put this on the Simpler Options site. So it's not. It's just a standalone, separate scanner, and you can go to simplerstocks.com/scanner. Now, I've paid a couple $100 for these kind of scanners. This one, it refreshes automatically. You don't have to do anything. There are, I think, like 16 scanners that are already included in this. And let's take a look. Okay, so if you go to simplerstocks.com/scanner, it'll take you to this page. And again, I've paid hundreds of dollars for customizable scans. This one we're doing at a charter rate for $47 a month. So at some point we'll raise the price, but if this is something that you're interested in, this is what I'm going to be using and I have been using. And if you want to also use it yourself and find your own trades, again, charter rate, $47 a month. And then at some point, what happens with the charter rate is that once you do the initial charter sign up, then you lock it down and raise up the price. And the nice thing about this is, again, it's a standalone scanner. It does not matter if you use TradeStation, TOS, Scottrade, Schwab, Interactive Brokers. It doesn't matter. It's a standalone scanner. You don't need the indicators on the platform or anything like that. This is showing you the actual trades that I'll be taking and looking for. All right, so hopefully that made sense. And again, this is just what I'm using. You don't have to use this. It's just that if you look at this and say, okay, that's also information that I would like to look at, great. There you go. We set up a charter for you guys. You can try it out. If you don't like it, obviously just cancel. And then if you do like it, let us know and give us feedback. I mean, this does come right now with 16 scans already built in. You don't have to do anything. And we're going to continue to modify this and increase its usage as we go. And it should be pretty fun. The thing I'm excited about is it reduces two things. One, it reduces my research time by hours. And two, it brings up trading ideas I never would have found on my own because of its ability to combine squeezes within a squeeze within a squeeze, which is fantastic. All right, so anyway, if you like it, give it a shot. If not, no worries. It's just what I'm using. And you'll see, like when I'm in the trading room in the afternoon, that's what I'm using to find trades, okay? All right, guys, hope it helps. You guys have a great night, and we'll see you at the next update.